On today's hot sheet, I'm discussing housing inventory for the past week, the lowest home sale turnover rate in decades. Why is that? And luxury home prices in September, where they came in at. Today is Monday, November 3rd, 2025. I'm Byron Lazine, and the hot sheet starts now. Live from Las Vegas. Pleasure to be with you here this morning, wherever you may be. I am just pleased to be with you here today. Let me know where you're tuning in from, wherever that may be. Here in Vegas for the next couple, and we'll be rocking and rolling each and every single day. All right, so we've got inventory here for the week. I've got Haley's going to help me out with some of the slides. All slides available inside of BAMX. Just go to school.com/BAMX to grab those slides. Haley, if you can queue up this inventory one, I want to start there. We usually start every single Monday with inventory. This is the only live housing show Monday through Thursday for the real estate professional to get a 24-hour look back on the macro market and how it can be explained to your clients who are seeing macro headlines in the micro market in which they live in. And inventory, we saw that pop last week, which was unseasonal. It was interesting. I know Logan over at HW kind of noted I think next week we're going to kind of see this get sucked back out of the market. And that's exactly what happened. The inventory gain that we saw last week has disappeared. So we saw active single family homes, as reported by Altos Research, go from 867,000, almost 868,000, down to 856,000 here over the past week, basically back to where it was before the pop that we saw last week. Same week last year, inventory went flat, went from 735,000 to 735,000. We're about 16.5% more inventory year over year than we were last year. That's well off the bigger gaps that we saw during the spring, where we saw, spring inventory, year over year gap of upwards of 30, 31, 32%. So, the year over year difference has certainly reduced here over time, sitting here today now at 16.5%. And we did see what we expect to see more of, certainly as we go through November, get closer to the end of the month holiday and the end of the month holidays that happen in December. We will continue to see inventory reduce as it seasonally does. New listings also took a reduction here from where we were last week. Okay, so last week we saw that big spike, 69,000, abnormal. New listing spike goes all the way down to 50,000. So so we're basically seeing this kind of level set out to what we typically would be seeing. And this kind of a sharp drop would be significant if last week wasn't so volatile in the sense that it popped up. So we're kind of taking this week and last week with a grain of salt. They've kind of evened each other out. We went from 69,000 new listings to 51,000. Not normal, but they're kind of in par with the weeks that we saw earlier, where we were kind of just trending around 60,000. So kind of cut it in the middle, 50,000 new listings this week. Same week last year was 60,000. New listings overall have not really improved much this year versus last year, where we saw the lowest new listing level ever recorded. So, we're still in a really hard spot there. Weekly pending sales also took a nosedive, just like the inventory data and the new listing data. Okay, so it had that big move a couple of weeks ago, within the last couple of weeks, and now it's moving down on pending. So, I think, honestly, I think something's going on with Altos Research, where you just had a little bit of a malfunction here the last couple of weeks. It's now evening out. We're in that seasonal decline on pending home sales, just as we are with the other readings. Haley, I don't know if you have the mortgage application data. If that one's on school, if that slide's on school, if it is, you can go ahead and share it. Just give an update where we are at on demand from the mortgage side heading into this week. We've got 20 positive readings, 16 negative readings on the year. Okay. So 6 flat readings and then 39 straight weeks. You can use that one. That's fine. We had the I had the other one in but that's fine. 6 flat prints, 39 straight weeks of double digit or I'm sorry, 39 straight weeks of positive year data and 26 consecutive weeks of double digit growth year over year. You can drop that one down, Haley. Just wanted to highlight that because mortgages have improved greatly in terms of application data from last year. But as Haley just showed you on the overall macro, long way to go to get into full recovery. But if we're just thinking about sitting down with a customer, a seller in particular, and talking about how this spring market is going to look, well, the 39 straight weeks of positive year-over-year data on mortgage applications is a signal that we should continue to see applications increasing as we head into the spring, which would support Fannie Mae's projection of more home sales, existing home sales. They have that going up about 9.5%, 10%. If we get more activity next year, it means there'll be a little bit more competition going into that spring market. So I'm not somebody who is going to tell a seller just because they're having thoughts of selling or they might sell that every time is a good time to sell. Let's face it, we're in November. In a couple of weeks, I mean, I already the neighborhood that I live in, maybe people are already looking forward to getting wrapped into 60 days of holiday bonanza. Okay. So, maybe you are one of those people. Congratulations to you. Maybe Mariah Carey is already playing on every drive that you make around town and you're screaming it, through the windshield. That's great. I love it. It's amazing. A lot of people are distracted this time of year. It's not necessarily, if money's important, it's not the best time to have a home on the market. It's a message that is important to sit down with your seller customers and build a plan. If it's like capitalizing on equity, capitalizing on making the most money, there's a lot of micro market dynamics for sure. But building out that plan probably looks like putting the property on the market early spring, late winter, when the buyers are increasing and the inventory's at the lowest level of the spring market. And so some of this mortgage data certainly supports that you'll have that interest there. Waiting until late February is not a bad decision in a lot of markets, right? And there's going to be some markets where maybe you've already missed it, right? If you're in a seasonal market or something like that. But the mortgage application data suggests that we should be heading into a more competitive spring. And now, really what we're working on is, or relying on is that rate to give us some kind of a tailwind to make it even more competitive. If you watched or listened to Thursday, Jerome Powell kind of poured some cold water on that. All right, let's go to this Redfin report. Haley, there's turnover is at its lowest point right now in decades. Turnover is certainly a conversation when any agent's like, I want to do geo farming because somebody told me geo farming was the way to go, or it sounds cool. It's like, hey, what's the turnover rate in the neighborhood? Oh, I don't know. I didn't really think about that. I just like that neighborhood. Turnover rate's important if you're going to be going and spending on direct mail. Direct mail can take 18 to 24 months to get a return on investment. I don't know about you. Like, I don't like sending postcards out because it makes me feel good. I like doing things from a marketing and a campaign perspective that are going to bring me a return on investment. I want to know when I can get to break even and when I'm going to start getting a return. People ask me about, hey, realtor.com seems like a great play. Yeah. First 6 months, you'll be like, why did I do this? 12 months, you'll say, ooh, I'm at break even. 18 months, you'll have high profits if you do it right. And I could do that in any single. I could go, do a realtor.com, take over 100% of a market on realtor.com. 6 months in, you'll be losing money. 12 months in, you'll be break even or just slightly above. 18 months in, you'll be rolling in the profits. So turnover is really important for agents to understand, just based on that metric right there. Like, what are the opportunities in the market? How can I position my marketing dollars here? But it speaks to something much greater than just how agents or real estate professionals are thinking about a particular market. It speaks to the frustrations that a lot of consumers see when they look at the market and when they're going to decide they're going to move, if they're going to decide to move, the affordability around a move and what that entails. Think about, just like, I don't know if you've moved in the last 4 or 5 years. Like, I mean, over almost 25 years of, I haven't been married 25 years, but my wife and I have been together almost 25 years. Um, we I've moved a lot. Like, I've just, like, I wanted to buy, sell, those kind of things. And it's like, now she's like, I just don't ever want to move again. It's like, even if you make a lot of money on the house, it costs money to move. It costs time and energy and getting new things and frustrations. When you couple that or add that to the affordability issues, obviously, that we're faced with, it's no surprise that homeowner rates have plummeted. So, homes per sale, if you could throw the first chart up there, Haley. So here's the headline: 28 out of every 1,000 U.S. homes changed hands this year. Okay, look at what that was in 21. It was 44. Okay, no, Haley, we've got the wrong one there. Go to U.S. homes turnover at lowest rate in decades. Perfect. Okay, U.S. home turnover at lowest rate in decades. Look at this. If you can see your screen, if you're driving or on the treadmill or something, don't worry about it. But 2021, it was over 44 per 1,000 homes, and we're down to 28. Go back to 2012 when we just kind of finally bottomed out and we're starting to recover from the GFC. We're less than that number. Okay, 28 versus 34 in 2012. We started to see more homes change hands from 2012 to that peak number in 2021. And then we've been on a sharp decline with where rates are at and where the affordability is right now. It's 2.8% of U.S. homes have changed hands in 2025. Lowest turnover rate in not only since 2012, in at least 30 years. Okay, Redfin did this analysis based on MLS and county records. And that's what they found going back to 30 years. And that's kind of where you can get a lot of this enriched MLS data. Like, MLS data doesn't go back beyond 30 years, really. And a lot of MLSs are really like 25 years of data. So that's about as far back as you could go. The turnover rate is defined by the number of homes that are sold in the first 9 months of the year divided by the total number of sellable homes that exist. So if you're looking for a year, you'd obviously look at an entire year. For trying to get a turnover rate of a particular neighborhood or community that you want to service. That's how you would do it. Total number of sellable homes that exist. So total number of homes in the community. Like, if you're doing a community, obviously it's easier to do that, right? And then total number of homes that are sold, in this case, in the first 9 months. The analysis examined the period between 2012 to 2025, and they can confidently say that this 2.8% is the lowest. Okay, so 38% fewer homes. If you show the next one there, Haley, 38% fewer homes sold during this year than during the pandemic peak. And the listings are just coming in at a historically low rate. So we just saw new listings this past week at 50,000, and that number was again a little bit impacted by the week prior. But when we were looking at that Altos research, we're in the last 3 years of historically low listings. Okay, so listings for this year out of 1,000 homes come in at 38.7 listings. So it's a little bit better than 2012, where we saw kind of those bottom numbers get as low as almost 34, but nowhere near 2016, 2017. You were having 50, 54, 53 in all those years, up over 50 homes out of 1,000 um, were were being listed. So the affordability is keeping people just from listing their home um, and not trading the home, because most sellers are going to be a buyer. All right. Um, so interesting data there to look at. I think it really speaks more towards the affordability issue, this lock-in effect that we wanted to see as being over. Kind of want this market to thaw out, and it's continuously showing signs of not doing that. I'd encourage everybody that's a real estate professional, certainly impacting customers and sales during these times. As I've said the last 3 years, you've got to take November, December very seriously. Um, I know those that did that last year had a year this year that really went against the trends in their market. If their market was flat or down, they were up. It was really a quarter four thing, a November, December thing of, having not taking this time for granted. It can really help set up quarter one. If we get the tailwind that Fannie Mae's projecting, great. It'll be even better. um, but I know those that took this time of year very seriously last year, went against the market and went up as opposed to moving down or sideways. Um, just quickly, sales of condos and townhomes, they're down more than 3% from a year ago. So single family homes sales turnover rate um, is year over year flat. And then condos, if you break that out, is down 3.3% year over year. New listing rate for single family homes is up 4.1% year over year. New listings on condos up 2.3% year over year. So maybe a little bit of a sign that things are turning there. Homes where are they turning over the least? You go into these higher unaffordable markets. New York, LA, San Francisco, San Jose, Anaheim, Oakland, San Diego. Those are the top seven um, homes that are turnover the least. Highest turnover rates, okay, are Virginia Beach. So Virginia Beach topped the list of the 15 most populous U.S. metros with the highest turnover rate. Um, 35 sales per 1,000 homes in Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach has a big military population in that area, which obviously increases turnover rate in those kind of markets. West Palm right now, 32 homes sales out of 1,000. Tampa, 31, and Indianapolis and Atlanta. So those are the top five highest turnover rate. When you have a market, if you're working a market that has a high turnover rate, congratulations, because you have higher opportunities than the rest. Okay. So that's a good thing. Every market has different. I was just at dinner last night, and I was sitting with Jeff McGonigal, who was on the Further Together virtual event that we did, that BAM did. And he's got a market in Orange County that's highly competitive. He works kind of like that greater Orange County market. And I mean, if you're in California, you know what I'm talking about. California markets are highly competitive from a business standpoint, agent to agent, brokerage to brokerage, team to team standpoint, very competitive markets. Super impressive, obviously, that he was able to be kind of an outsider, move in there and do what he's done. You can obviously check out what he shared on Further Together on the replay and inside of BAMX on the school if you wanted to. But we were talking about that compared to, like, okay, maybe some of the markets in the Northeast, and we were having the conversation about Connecticut, California. Connecticut not as competitive from an agent business perspective as like a California, I would say. Um, but that market's more competitive in that way. Connecticut's dealing with really low inventory, low opportunities, less of a turnover rate. So every market has these different dynamics and different challenges. If you are in a market now, you may have high competition, high turnover rates. Like I'm looking here, West Palm, Atlanta, right? These are highly competitive markets. Why? Because there's a lot of turnover. There's a lot of opportunity. If there's less turnover, there's going to be less competition. So every market's got its own little challenges. You've got to find your spot in it. And obviously there's going to be an opportunity in every single market. Luxury is an opportunity for sure. Luxury sales have actually increased year over year, total transactions, as did home prices. Luxury home prices rose 5% in September, and that's twice the pace of non-luxury homes. So, Haley, if we can just go to the slide there, this will be in BAMX on School for anybody that wants it. A 5% increase on luxury home price growth, and just under 2% for non-luxury. So the typical U.S. luxury home sold for 1.26 million in September, up to 5% from a year ago, and it's a record high for the month. Okay, record high for the month of September in the luxury category. More than twice the pace of the median, which came in at 371,000, according to this Redfin analysis. They define luxury as the top 5% of their metro's area price range. If you go to the next slide there, luxury and non-luxury home sales virtually flat from a year ago. So this is how Redfin is, analyzing this, that luxury is only up 0.3% on total sales. That's the top 5% of sales. But if you look at kind of just the general luxuries, numbers from NAR, you go over a million or over 750,000, those sales have increased while the smaller categories have obviously decreased. And we look at that typically once a month. Pending sales, which is obviously a leading indicator for future closings, rose 1.6% for luxury homes in September and 1% from non-luxury from a year earlier. So starting to see a little bit maybe of some momentum here to close out the year. Luxury home inventory is up 7.7% from a year earlier. So inventory on luxury moving up, as is, we know, on non-luxury, that went up even more, 11.4%. That's the highest level on non-luxury since September 2000, for any September since 2019, according to this Redfin data. And then you have luxury at the highest level since 2020 on inventory. So inventory moving up along with all of the other metrics like price on both categories. All right, there's your luxury update from Redfin on that. All right, let's jump into the top 10 cash offers. If there's opportunities in markets, then cash is coming. Partners at Zoodealio give us the data each and every single week on the top 10 cash market offers. Haley, if you've got that, go ahead and bring that up. Or if it got bumped out, that's fine as well. But it should be. Thought it was in School from earlier, and maybe not. Maybe we don't.
I don't see it. I'll message them.
All right, we'll have that tomorrow. We'll have top 10 cash offers from our partners at Zoodealio. If you want access to Zoodealio, it's free as part of your BAMX membership. Just go to school.com/BAMX, $2,400 value. You get the Zoodealio cash offer platform. No brainer right now in this market. They partner with agents. They don't cut agents out. So if you're looking to bring cash offers to your customers, no better partner than Zoodealio. BAMX members get that included. You can try BAMX for 7 days using the link down below, school.com/BAMX. 10-year, Haley, let's go. 10-year to kick the week. Not great. 4.103. Haley, if you go to the last 3 months, go 3 months out, we are trending somewhere in the middle of where we've been. We've lost the momentum that we had before the Fed meeting. and maybe we'll get it back before December. The market seems to believe there will be a December cut, even though Jerome Powell doesn't want to put his stamp of approval on that. The 30-year fix popped after Jerome Powell's presser last week, based off of that 10-year increase, went up to 6.33, took the momentum that we were seeing leading into that meeting right out of the market. And it cooled off a bit on Friday to 6.28. We'll see where it goes, but we're really going to probably trend in the 6.25 range right now for the time being, outside of some news shifts. Shutdown continues. All is quiet in DC. Very calm. Not much happening there. We'll see what happens this week. It'll be a topic of discussion, obviously, that impacts markets as well as the greater economy. We'll keep our eyes on that. Until then, though, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Toodaloo.